Hey everyone, welcome back to the Families Fly Free podcast. I have brought in another Families Fly Free member to share his story with you and what he's been able to do in terms of flying free and traveling free, all that good stuff with his family. So you can hear this really does work for all kinds of different families. So today I've got with me Jerry Quinn. He's been a member, I think, for about 9 months when I checked. So Jerry, let's just have you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your family and the types of travel you guys like to do.
Absolutely, Lynn. Great to see you. My name is Jerry Quinn. My wife and I have two boys. We live in Portland, Oregon. Our boys are one actually graduated during the pandemic year, so he didn't really have a graduation.
Oh,
He's 2 years out of school, but he's on his way, which is great. And then we have another son who's a senior in college. So we almost are empty nesters, which is going to be really exciting. It'll give us a chance to travel more. We live in a beautiful part of the country, the Pacific Northwest. You asked how we travel. Over the years, Lynn, our family's in the Midwest. So I'm from South Bend, Indiana. My wife's from Chicago. We've lived out here forever. I worked for Nike for a number of years. And so really our travel has been back to see family. It's expensive. We all know how flights are and hotels and everything. So when we can stay with my wife's father or my mom, it obviously saves on cost. But a lot of our travel has been local. If we were going to take vacations, Oregon's beautiful, Seattle's just a couple hours north. We'll go there. But until we joined, again, this may sound kind of canned, but really we didn't do a lot of vacations. Every couple of years we would go somewhere. We took a trip to Hawaii on a spring break about 6 years ago. It was our best trip we've ever taken as a family. And we have a chance to go back thanks to you next month, actually, October. I can't believe it's already here. But yeah, our travel, everyone loves to travel, but our travel has really been local. We'll drive to spend time in Central Oregon. I don't know if you've been out to the Pacific Northwest and been to Central Oregon. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's high desert. We usually go to a resort where there's a pool and there's biking trails and hiking trails and just chill out and relax and just breathe in the mountain air, the fresh air, and it's just unbelievable. So we love to travel. We just haven't done a lot of it until we've really joined your program. Honestly, we just haven't thought about it because of the cost.
right. Right. Yeah, we did the same thing until we figured out how to fly free. We just mostly did driving trips. Um,
Yeah.
Except it's a lot prettier in Oregon than Indiana cornfields, right?
True. I grew up in Indiana. I know that. I know a
Mhm.
lot of cornfields. I love Indiana, but yeah, Oregon and the Pacific Northwest is gorgeous. We're an hour and a half from Mount Hood, where they ski all year round. The U.S. ski team trains on Mount Hood in the summertime, which is crazy. And then we're an hour and a half to the coast. So Portland's situated in a great spot. People are really outdoor oriented. They're really active. And it's a great part of the country, but we want to explore other parts and internationally too. With my travels at Nike, I was able to get a taste of some international travel, and I'd love to share that with my family. My family really hasn't traveled a lot overseas. My son, who graduated from college a couple years ago, as I mentioned, he was able to travel and study abroad in France. I'm actually in his room right now. He's not here, so the photo of the
I
Eiffel
see
Tower is
Paris
right over his
behind you.
bed. Exactly. So we've got a really soft spot in our heart for the City of Light, and I'd love to get my family there one day. You've talked about it in
Love it.
your webinars, and that's one of my goals to be part of the program here to get us over there.
So tell us, what you've been working on thus far, what you've been able to achieve in the first 9 months of being a member.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Before I answer that, I was a little skeptical, honestly. There's so much out there on the internet, and there's so many in the this program costs money. I pay this. Lynn, you're not paying me to be on this
Yeah.
show or interview or podcast or YouTube. And so with the money that we had, we were a little skeptical, but just doing the research and just hearing you and hearing the other guests like myself, it really connected with me that, wow, we can do something here. So after doing a little bit of that research, what really attracted us to the program was the companion pass. We always thought that was completely out of line. We would never travel that much to achieve the companion pass, and I never played the points game. It just seemed so unattainable and confusing and complex. So in the short time of being with the program, we have this companion pass, which is incredible, and it's a game changer, Lynn. I know you talk a lot about it, but just having that pass gives you the peace of mind that you don't have to have that other cost. My wife and I can travel. If there's four of us traveling now, that's, one less airfare. It's all the things that you say, but it's just, I think, more of a mental relief, and it just provides that just that freedom to say, okay, where do we want to go, and just have it. So in the short 9 months, where have we gone? We've gone back to see family. As I said, that's kind of typically what we've done.
Mhm.
We visit family, so all four flights were free. Um, we stayed with our folks. Both my mom, or my mom and my wife's dad had a great time. We saw Coldplay in concert at Soldier Field, which is incredible. We've also been able to go to. My son just moved to Colorado, so those flights were free. We have another trip, as I mentioned. We're going to Hawaii, which my kids are they cannot wait. I can't wait. My wife said to me last week, "Are we really going to go to Hawaii?" So all four of us are going to go for free. We have another. My son's flying home for the holidays, from Colorado. That's free. We have a trip planned in San Diego next February for our anniversary. So anyway, in 9 months, if I look back a year ago and I'm saying all this, I would have thought I was crazy because it just was too cost prohibitive. And we're a simple family, like I think so many people. But we want to, honestly, the pandemic really kind of changed our priorities of what we wanted to do. It was tough for a lot of people, and being hunkered down and really kind of being together. We really enjoyed spending time as a family. We're fortunate to be together. I know a lot of people weren't. And coming out of the pandemic, we really want to travel more. We want to see more. We want to do more. And you say it quite a bit. We want to create memories, and
That's
really, that's really what it's all about. So
It's, yeah, just about bringing families together through travel.
exactly,
My mission.
exactly.
But yeah, so what made you kind of start looking for something like this? Like, how did you come upon the membership to start with?
Yeah, we've just been, I don't want to say naive travelers, but there's just this cost out there. It's $5,000 if we go somewhere, and that's a lot of money, or it's $10,000 if you add in excursions or other things. And we've chosen as a family to prioritize, our money on other things. And so when we were doing our research, it seemed too good to be true,
It
and
does. Yep.
I mean, it it just it's so attainable, it's so good. So yeah, we were just doing our research, and we made this a priority. That's really what we did. In the past, we thought about a lot. Um, we used to be, when my wife and I got married, coupon savers.
Oh, I was a couponer too. I think that's the mindset that this.
It is.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of gotten us back into that. And it's fun, and you save real money, and it's just enjoyable. And you simplify things a lot too, which is great.
So, I mean, just talking about this mindset of travel is just expensive. It's $5,000. You have to travel a lot to get the companion pass, right? That's where a lot of people are. Like, you have any suggestions for how you were able to open your mind to the idea that actually this might be possible to do it in a different way?
Yeah, I think, well, maybe you remember when we joined, my wife was really not, it wasn't her decision. This was my decision. I said, hey, trust me here. I really feel good about this. And I've really been able to you have been able to convince her this is doable. And I think, um, I would say that it's, it's something that, it seemed like other people would always come back, with photos, or come back with experiences. And it was always like, hey, one day we will. But then by prioritizing this and then meeting you, and then getting involved in the community. You have this amazing online community that if you have a question, you go out there and you get answers back. Um, it just felt there weren't as many hurdles, and you weren't doing it on your own. So I would just say that um, for us doing the research, for us joining the program, we I
Did you
want to
feel like you
say
had to
in
kind of take a leap there?
we
Yeah.
did, and I did. During a year in the pandemic, I decided to bring in a puppy. My wife was not happy, Lynn, but it's been the best thing in our family to have this new puppy, and also traveling. That's again, it's a it's nerve-wracking because it's you think of bringing in a puppy, all the work. Oh, I don't have time for this, or oh, there's an expense, and it's similar to travel. Oh, shoot, it takes a little bit of work. There's an expense. This is an investment. But just like our puppy Charlie, who's the cutest thing and has provided so much joy and presence, after a busy day, just holding her has been so incredible. Taking these trips has been so freeing and so incredible. And I just actually thought of that analogy right now, but they're very similar. There's a little bit of work, but we don't think of our puppy as work. We don't think of the travel as work. It really has been life changing. It really has both.
Yeah, and I think like your example there, I mean, it's work on the front end. Like I remember
Yeah,
I have a dog
exactly.
sitting on the floor somewhere by me here, but like when we
Yeah,
first got him as a puppy, like you're like, oh my gosh, those first 3 weeks,
yeah,
then once you get
exactly.
through that, like he's just part of our life. It's just our
There you
routine.
go.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And just
Yeah.
like this is becoming soon part of ours. Exactly.
Yeah. It's just your lifestyle. You're people who travel. That's what I like to say.
That's right. And we've been able to travel with our puppy,
Oh, really?
which has been amazing. She's only 15 pounds, so she's perfect travel
So she
size.
flies.
So she flies with us right at
Wow.
our feet in a little duffel. She's the highlight in the airport because
We're always
they're
looking at
always
other people's dogs. Right.
exactly.
Yeah, my dog would have a heart attack. I think he's too scared, but
Yeah,
he
yeah,
would. I don't think he would. He wants to just stay on his couch at home while we're traveling. He's good.
yeah. Well, that's not a bad spot either.
Right. Okay, so tell us what your one of your favorite things has been about being a member, and or the most surprising thing, something you weren't expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned the community is great. I didn't really think of that. Having a bunch of other folks that say, "Oh, hey, I've been here. Have you gone to this place? Have you eaten here?" This is how I was able to get the companion pass. This is what I did. But I really think the most surprising thing is this hack that you talk a lot about. I mentioned we're going to go to Hawaii. We could not have done this. We, we booked these unbelievably low fares. I want to say we've saved over 200,000 points. That's no exaggeration.
Wow.
Um, we would not have done this. Again, it's a leap of faith. It's like, okay, Lynn, what are you talking about? We can do this. Are you sure? And even my wife, again, was skeptical. Love my wife. I'm not trying to make my wife out to be the bad person here, but she's the realist and
Your
I'm
due
more of the,
diligence.
yeah, exactly. I'm more the idealist. But yeah, we're going to Hawaii on I mean, it's 40,000 points for all four of us. It's just unbelievable. So that was a huge
That is
surprise.
amazing. Yes.
Amazing. And even though we're on the West Coast, it's expensive. It's expensive to travel anywhere, but that would be the biggest surprise. That the community is great. And then one thing I would say too, it goes without saying, and maybe you might expect me to say this, but you're just so kind. You're so thoughtful. The team is just so genuine. They're so transparent, and I really want to surround myself with people like you and be associated with just honest and trustworthy people. So I want to
Thank
say
you.
that too.
That's so
Yep.
wonderful to hear. Yeah. So we do our best um to serve our members as best we can. That's what we want to do is just make so I just really believe nothing exists like this in the world that what we've created. And I just want it to continue to be that way, to be an amazing experience if you love to travel that you can't get anywhere else. But and if you were to describe the membership to someone, because I think we focus so much on it's all about how to fly free, but there's really is so much more to it than that, that it's sort of hard to get that across. I'm just curious if how you tell other people what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like an online travel course. Online training is, obviously kids have been doing that since the pandemic, and that's really common. I didn't think I would be sort of in travel 101 and then going on to travel 102 and travel 103. There are these different semester courses. There's these different curriculum you have. It started with a companion pass. That was really the big attraction. And then I'm learning more about hotels. I'm learning more about even being really prudent and intentional about what cards to have. We used to have a bank card, and we would just use it as a regular travel card. I know some people don't use credit cards, and that's fine too, but we haven't really been able to fully leverage the power of that. Again, the points game or playing, it was really intimidating to me, and I thought, what, this is working for me. I've got a card. I go to Costco. I get my gas points or whatever. That's kind
Costco
of
does
where
have
we
good points
were.
on gas.
They do. They really do. Exactly. But I think just, yeah, learning the nuances in, like most things in life, you spend a little bit of time and you get some help from other people that have gone through it. And yeah, it really continues to add, and even international travel. I didn't know that your program talked about international travel. You talk a lot about Southwest, and Southwest does, fly international. But that's another part that I'm going to continue to, explore. Like I said, I'd love to take my family there, maybe next year. It would be unbelievable. So yeah, there's just all these different elements, and the community is great. You're great. Um, but most importantly, there's also part of the program. People have timeshares. We've gotten to know George. We're actually in Hawaii using some of his points. We paid for his points. So just things like that. Again, I had no idea. So
Yeah,
just
just the connections
um,
that you're able
the
to make.
connections are great. Exactly.
Have you found it to be fairly easy to learn how to do this?
Yeah, I'll say this. It takes some time, takes a little bit of time, but it's not an inordinate amount of time. It's not, I would say early on, and this is the kind of learner I am. I love podcasts. So to have your program accessible when I'm working out or in the car or running errands or going for a hike, is a great way for me to kind of accelerate the learning. So I did a lot of the homework beforehand, let's say a few hours listening to podcasts. And then once we learned, I said, okay, hey, we made this investment. And I really truly believe it's the investment you make is also the investment you take out of it. So typically, when I worked at Nike, um, we had to pay for the health club at Nike. People were like, "Oh, it's not free. Why isn't it free?" But by paying a little bit a month, it was like $1 a day. There's that investment that, okay, hey, I'm paying for this. I need to use it. And so similar to your program too, investing in your program, I wanted to use it. So it's a little bit of work up front. And then there's the routine. It's actually building in the routine. So there's a day during the week that you say, hey, well, you may want to check your flight to see if the flights have gone down, or hey, there's this part of the season. This is when they're releasing flights. So I've built in these little milestones into my calendar. I don't consider that work. It's now a habit. And like we've talked about before, getting a puppy. Yep, there's a little bit of the, oh my gosh, what do we need to do? But then when you see the list, it's like, oh yeah, that's not so bad. And then all of a sudden you don't have to think of the list because you're just doing it automatically. I'd say the same here. I don't consider it work. I look forward to it. It's fun.
It is.
And I feel like an insider.
You are an insider.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah. I'm
You're on
like,
the inside
wow.
track now.
Yeah. And I turn off all my notifications except I get your notifications. So honestly, because we can all go crazy if I keep getting, I'm trying to do work. Would you come on, turn the phone over? But I definitely need your notifications, and those have been a game changer.
Yeah, and we do send like a mobile alert or texts here and there once, maybe twice a week, just depending on if there's information that we think is timely that you think to know, and to remind you of our webinars and such that are coming up as well. We will do that. So yeah, I think that's great. So would you say that I did want to say about, you were talking about investing in something.
Yeah.
That's very important to me too, because I have watched people over the years, and the people who do invest something are the ones who are most likely to follow up, listen to our recommendations, and take action. And those are the people who are going to be successful. And that's why it's set up this way. Because if it was just free, then most people don't take it seriously or do the work. And this is,
No.
what it takes. So anyway, you're a good example of someone who has invested the money. You do have to invest some money up front and then the time to make sure it works. And it's working great for you guys. And so many other
Yeah.
families like you who have done the same thing.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I think to that point, um, I did a little quick math, and I love sort of the Starbucks analogy. If you had spent this amount of money at Starbucks for 10 years and instead of investing it, it could have grown. Well, the Starbucks analogy for families fly free, and I could be wrong here, but it's $4.12 a day. So for $4.12 a day, we've had these unbelievable trips. We have more trips ahead of us. We have peace of mind. We have ease of travel. Travel is getting busier, more expensive. So is that worth $4.12 a day for me? Without a doubt. And I did a little math before the call too. We've already had a return of 8x on our investment. So it's just incredible. So the flights that we're saving, the hotels that we're saving, the peace of mind that we're saving, that doesn't even equate into that. So for $4.12 a day, and to have a return to be 8x is where are more of those investments?
Right.
you
Yeah. I've
know?
never looked at it by day. I have never thought of that. But yeah, that's an interesting, yeah, for $4 a
Uh,
day, you can travel whenever and wherever you want to go.
you got it. You got it.
I'll take that. I'll take that deal any day.
You bet.
So you definitely feel like you've got your money's worth. What
Yeah,
would you
without a
tell
doubt.
people, who are hesitant about the cost?
Yeah, I think it's a valid concern, absolutely. But hopefully, you don't know me, but hearing me and hearing others like me, it really, I just would encourage you to do it. And obviously, money is tight these days. There's a lot of people struggling. At the same time, time is short, and your family is so important, and spending time with them. Again, I'm late to the game. I'm really bummed that I didn't learn about your program earlier when my kids were younger. That's the way to go. Get them traveling early, get them seeing the world, get them really. That's the education, is really getting them out of the classroom. Not that classroom is wrong, classroom is great, but the real world, seeing, smelling, experiencing that's just life. And as any parent would want to do, they would want to share that with their kids earlier on, to be more global citizens of the world, to be more caring, to be more considerate, to just get out of their own um, mindset, which isn't wrong, but just the more you can expand that, the better. And we're kind of late to the party here. So I wish I was able to start that earlier. So I would just, I know this sounds coin, coming from Nike, but just do it. It really is. It's kind of a no brainer. If my wife was here, she's at work, she would say the same thing. She would say, "Jerry, you were right." Same thing with the puppy. Yeah, this has been the best thing for us. And my kids are so excited. They're like, "Where are we going?" And it doesn't have to be the destination. It's just the journey. We're going somewhere together, and we're going to be there to relax and have fun and not be distracted. Dad doesn't have to work, or the kids don't have to study. It's just us together. So uh, I would just give you that nudge to do it if you're thinking about it. And if you're watching this, you are thinking about it. So just do it. And Lynn's
Nike
fantastic. The
says
team is
just do
great,
it.
and you won't regret it. Just do it. Just do it.
That's too funny. Yeah. Okay. And anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about in terms of your experience or?
I'm just gonna look at my notes. I think again, I feel like an insider, and I think anytime you're online, we look at reviews. Okay, what did the reviews say before we buy it? Or you got a weekend. Hey, what movie are you going to watch? You ask your friends. Hey, what did you like? We're going out to dinner. Hey, where did you go last weekend? Oh, we need to try this new restaurant. Recommendations are huge, and that's really how we're all conditioned today. So I think if something that I've said has resonated with you, then hopefully we've been able to help you. And I truly think that what you're doing, Lynn, is selfless in a lot of ways. I know you're running a business, but you're sharing things that have worked for your family, and you could have kept all this to yourself, and you could have just had a great time. But by expanding your um, sort of recommendations to others, your friends and family, and then you started this business, and you're kind of impacting us. I mean, you're very selfless to do this, and I think it's yeah, it's just a great it's a great thing to do. It really is a great thing to do. So just being insider, join Families Fly Free, and you're gonna have a great time.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And hey, I've got a great job, right?
Yeah,
It's a pretty fun job, I gotta say. I get to help
yeah,
teach people how to fly free, and I get to do all that flying free myself. So it's pretty great. So come join us. We want to help as many families as we can learn how to do this. Um, and hopefully Jerry has given you one example of a family who's really making this work. 8 times return. That's
yep.
pretty awesome in 9 months, I gotta say. That's
Pretty
exciting.
awesome.
Mhm.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jerry. And if you want to learn more about Families Fly Free, you can always go to familiesflyfree.com/join. And we hope to see you inside the membership. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Thanks, Lynn.